Hey everyone, Cody Bill here. Today I want to talk to you about this flashlight, the Nitecore MT06. First though, a little story. So you may have seen in my EDC video this flashlight. It is an ultrafire something or other, supposed to be 300 lumens. I think I mentioned that. Really cheap flashlight. And a couple weeks ago, I was going to do a review of this flashlight. And the day before I was going to do it, the LED, the actual bulb down in there, just snapped off. So this flashlight is useless now. That was pretty disappointing. But because of that, I definitely have to say I would not recommend this flashlight. Worked okay for me for I think it was about a year and a half or so. Not hard use. I carried it almost every day, but didn't do anything extreme with it. And it had some pretty significant flaws anyway. And then it flat out broke. So we're done with that one. Not recommended. Because of that, I got this. I had done a little looking. Saw this. I really wanted something that was a lot thinner anyway, as you can see. More like a penlight. And I came across this one. So I bought it. And this, so far, I've really liked it. I've had it for a couple weeks now. And I've really liked it. So before I go any further, let me go ahead and talk about the specs and everything. So when you get it, it comes with 2 spare O-rings, which is nice because you got an O-ring right up here and one right back here. It comes with a little card for warranty information, so I'll be sure and keep that. And it's got the user manual, which is decent, pretty small, and on the back side it's the same thing in what appears to be Chinese. I believe that is traditional Chinese. But anyway, English side. So specs. It says it right here also. You can see on high it does 165 lumens. Low it's 32 lumens. It'll do that high for 45 minutes and low for 5 hours and 15 minutes. Now one thing to note about this is it won't actually do 165 lumens for 45 minutes. It will do the high setting for 45 minutes. A lot of flashlight manufacturers actually do this, but most of them don't tell you about it. When you have such a small light putting out a high output, especially if it's over, say, 300 lumens, 300 or 400 lumens, but even at this rate of 165, it'll get very hot and it'll do it very quickly. So after a few minutes, it actually starts to lower the output to protect the electronics inside, to help extend battery life, and in some cases to actually protect the user, because some of these lights can get so hot that they will physically burn you. So something to note about that, and it does mention that here in the user manual. It says we'll begin adjusting output lumens automatically after 5 minutes of use. So you'll get 5 minutes approximately of 165 lumens, and then it'll start to lower. And let me tell you, this thing does get hot. You can tell. Claims to have a beam distance of 92 meters, and I can attest to that. Went hunting a few weeks ago, and where I was hunting, I had a spot that was exactly 100 yards long, and using this light in the middle of the night after I was done and everything, I could see all the way out to the end. Now, I tried to get some footage of this. Fortunately, my camera apparently is really bad in low light situations, so that footage is useless, so you won't be seeing it. But it did light up the full 100 yards, which was really surprising because a lot of times they claim some distance and it's really not usable out to that distance. But this one was, at least on the high setting. 2120 candelas is the intensity. That doesn't mean much to most people. But in my opinion, it's equally as important as the actual lumens. because if you have a beam that's a little dimmer but much more tightly focused, it'll appear brighter. It is impact resistant to 1.5 meters and IPX8 waterproof, so that means submersible down to 2 meters. I don't know for how long, 30 minutes, I think maybe. But it is, you know, if you drop it in a puddle or something, it'll be okay. You can't go diving with it, you know, don't take it underwater with you on purpose, probably. But if it falls in the water, it should be fine. And if you drop it from, it says 1.5 meters, which, you know, if you're holding it and using it, you're probably holding it somewhere close to that height. So it'll be okay. As for these instructions, it's pretty self-explanatory. Dimensions, I guess I'll cover those. 5.04 inches long. It is 0.55 inches in diameter, nice and slim. And empty with no batteries, it weighs 0.78 ounces. It runs on 2 AAA batteries, and those weigh almost exactly that amount. So, because they weigh a little over half that each, obviously. So, with the batteries in it, it'll weigh right about 1.5 to 1.6 ounces. So, a very, very lightweight flashlight. You hardly know it's there. There have been plenty of times I've had it in my pocket and I really didn't notice that it was there, which is a big improvement over this stupid thing. Okay. Now, getting on with it. Stainless steel pocket clip. I guess I should, you know, it says it's titanium plated, titanium coated. Sure, you can't really tell, but I suppose it is. Very good pocket clip. It's nice and stiff, but not too firm. It holds the flashlight well. It's not coming out. Not a bad looking clip either. Pretty simple though. I like the length of it. It's fairly short, but not too short. I've seen some flashlights where the clip is about that long, and it just doesn't work very well. I've had several where the clip was about that long, and that's really annoying. So this is about perfect. As for the button, it's a little sort of cheesy feeling. Feels kind of cheap, but it's really, in use, it's operated perfectly so far. Haven't had any issues with it. It just feels a little floppy, I guess you could say, but no problems with it. It's got a nice positive click on it. You probably won't have any problems with it coming on in your pocket. I've had it happen once or twice so far, but that was when I was, turning around in all kinds of ways and doing a lot of heavy lifting and stuff with it in the pocket of my jeans. It does have a nice, very highly polished reflector down in there, and the mineral glass on the front of it is it's anti-glare coated. It's got an anti-reflective coating, which is nice, very nice. Got a real good feel to it. It's smooth, but it's not overly slick, so you can still get a nice, good purchase on it. As for the operation of it, so I mentioned a low of 32 lumens, and how this is going to work is when you push it and you turn it on, it's going to be 32 lumens every time when you turn it on the first time. And then to get it into high setting, you can either you can sort of double click it, or you can just push the button sort of halfway in and let it back out. So you'll see there it's in low, high, back to low. Nice and simple. I love that it's only 2 modes. Doesn't have a strobe feature, which is, I think, pretty much useless for almost every situation. Doesn't have 12 different modes that you're trying to get through with one button. So nice and simple, and I like that it always goes into the low setting right off the bat. So you don't have to worry about, if it's kind of dark, just going straight into that full 165 lumens and not necessarily blinding yourself, but just using more light than what you need necessary. And if you do need that much light, it's real quick to get into it. So, and this is not some sort of tactical flashlight. It's just an EDC light, so you can see what you're doing. And for that, I think it's great. Oh, another thing I forgot to mention, it's a 5-year warranty. So, yeah, 5 years. Let's see, what else about this? Oh, something else I really like. I really love the beam, so I wish I could show you this at better distances, but I don't really have a way to. I really like, it's got kind of a small hotspot and a nice good flood around here and a very smooth transition. And it's kind of a warm beam that, if you don't understand what I'm saying, I'll explain that in a second. This particular one, the place I bought it from, and I'll have links in the description, included this little keychain light, kind of cheesy, whatever it says, longhorntactical.com on it, whatever that means. It's, I believe it's 25 lumens is what it said, just a little pin light. One interesting thing about it, it's got this little switch here, I don't know if you can see that, so you can push it and then flip the switch and now it'll stay on. So, okay, that's kind of neat, but I don't really care too much about that. This is the main thing. So as far as the what I was saying, a warm beam, you'll notice actually if you hold these next to each other that this pin light looks very sort of blue, and the MT06 looks a lot more like a natural white. That's what I mean. This is much cooler. This is much warmer. Got a couple other ones to compare it to. Let's see. We've got this little thing. You'll see that's still much cooler. And actually this other one as well. I'm gonna put that in high so they're similar. Those are pretty similar as far as how the beams look. This one on my right is actually a little bit brighter, but this isn't one I can carry around with me. So yeah, nice warm beam. And yeah, I think this will serve you very well for your EDC purposes. On the package, it says designed for the engineer, mechanic, and medical services. Not really sure what they mean by that, I guess. I suppose it would be good for those. It would be good for nearly anything. I think with medical services, they might be meaning like EMTs. I don't think you really want to use this for checking pupils. I'm no medical expert, but I can tell you that even on low, it's pretty painful to look at close distances. And most of those little pin lights they make for checking pupils seem to be around 10 to 15 lumens. So I don't know if this would necessarily cause damage, but it may. Like I said, I'm no expert, so I don't really know the answer to that one. But for pretty much anything else that you're trying to do, I can almost promise you this would be really great. It's not overly long, it's nice and slim, it's super light, got a good clip, really good brightness settings, simple operation, and yeah, highly recommended. Let me know what you guys think.